The Aga Museum is the first Islamic museum in North America. The $300 million complex is an approach by Aga Khan, the spiritual leader of Ismaili Muslims. The museum is dedicated to presenting the artistic history of Muslim cultures. It will also be home to performing arts. Middle Eastern music will be displayed, as well as different music from different cultures that had blended together in ancient Islamic times. Amir Ali Alibi, head of the Performing Arts, gives us a sample of what will be presented.
I'm presenting Daka Braka, which is a Ukrainian folk punk band. And a lot of people have sort of said, what does that have to do with your mandate? Well, the Ukraine had Ottoman presence there for 300 more years in Crimea, and you can hear it in the music. And that's the fabulous thing about music, is that you can hear these moments when different cultures have come together and touched one another.
The Aga Khan Museum is the newest Islamic museum to showcase the science, culture, and civilization that Islam contributes to the world. And the museum is based right here in Toronto. Now, there are objects, manuscripts, books, Qur'ans, and so much more that date back all the way to the 10th century. It took them 10 years to put this museum together and 4 years to construct it. Director and CEO Henry Kim tells us about the most challenging part of establishing the museum.
What we've been very fortunate by is that we've been able to get many highly experienced people from Toronto, from Canada, and even further afield. And these are the ones who are creating the programs, developing the infrastructure, and basically making this museum work. That to me was the toughest part, but actually the most enjoyable.
Ruba Kanaan, head of research and publications, took us on a tour and showed us some of her favorite collections. One was the ceramic bowls from Iran and East Asia from the 11th century, which were full of proverbs and aphorisms.
The one in the bottom has inscriptions in Armenian and also has a shape that is like a cross. Because of course when we talk about the arts of Muslim civilizations, we talk about when Islam was a predominant culture, not necessarily only the arts made by Muslims, but also within a Muslim cultural context.
Another one of her favorites was an ancient fountain from Cairo. The fountain was an art of geometric patterns made out of marble and sandstones.
If you think of it as a palace in the 15th century, you should imagine that it's in the living room, there's water trickling down through the fountain, there's the sound of the water, there's the pleasing effect of the colors, but also there's the cooling effect of the water in the house.
The museum has over 1,000 objects, from musical instruments to paintings, and their mission is to bring historic Islamic art to life in one of the most diverse and tolerant cities, Toronto. For Al Arabiya News, I'm Dua Harish.